Here in King Street, Bowen Hills, near the Brisbane Showgrounds, is an icon of Brisbane fine dining, Montrachet, owned by Shannon Kellam. Shannon Kellam is one of Brisbane's most talented chefs and has twice represented Australia at the Bocuse d'Or Culinary Olympics. He started out as an apprentice at Raphael's, a restaurant he eventually owned. Later joined Terry Gallacher at Montrachet, and is now the owner and executive chef of this acclaimed restaurant. Welcome to Go Shannon.
Thank you.
It's been a while now, but what were the challenges of taking over and moving such an acclaimed restaurant?
Well, I guess it was a well-planned progression for us before we took over Montrachet. I came home in February 2015 after the second Bocuse d'Or, and we took over Montrachet within about 6 weeks of returning home. So that was a bit of a crazy time, and it's been head down ever since. But I mean, I think it was important to take our time in the current space, or the old shop of Montrachet, for the clientele to get to know us and to get to know what we're about. Obviously, you need to have a well-executed plan to convince people as an Australian running such an iconic French restaurant. My career is a little bit different to most Australian chefs, I guess. So best not to talk about those things and just do your work and spend time with the clients on the floor of your dining room. It was important to move Montrachet and create a new space. We predominantly cater for a corporate clientele, just the facility up at Paddington was a little bit, as people become more time poor, if you like, getting there during the daytime was more difficult. That was, I guess, one of the main reasons for that, to be more accessible for our clientele, and that's just been a fantastic move for Montrachet.
And it's obviously worked well. Australian cuisine is all about light, fresh, slightly Asian flavours, yet you have this passion for French cuisine. Is there still a place for traditional French haute cuisine?
Oh, I think so, definitely. It's like anything, it's how it's executed and how it's delivered to our customer. I think people are still generally very interested in French cuisine, but as French cuisine has evolved, it gives us the ability to incorporate different produce and also more modern cooking techniques. And in saying that, we also have a large part of the menu in Montrachet is a real homage to very classical dishes as well. So we try and get that balance right for people that are looking for those classical dishes, but also having a balance in the menu of dishes that have a more lighter approach, but also gives us a platform to promote our local producers as well. For me, one of the most important facets of French cuisine is to be using the best of what's close to you. So therefore, we need to relay that through our cooking.
Do you think the styles are changing a bit? Brisbane seems to be going a little bit casual. There tends to be this thing towards gastronomy rather than the top end, and obviously Queensland's a lighter place than southern things. Do you think we're going more casual?
I think so. Look, I guess it depends on what you say is casual and what is fine dining. If we refer to fine dining from, I would say from a couple of decades ago, I guess the amount of work that goes into not only the preparation but also the service, whether things are finished and prepared at the table, like Uridon, for example. I think the size of dining rooms today and the size of the teams are all smaller, so that's not really practical in today's world. Although that you see a lot of people trying to bring those things back as well. It's always a revolving wheel with all those things. So, but look, at the end of the day, you can't beat quality and value for money. So a strength that we like to play on, of course, is the quality of service and the professionalism within the team. It's something Montrachet has always been very famous for, and we've continued to build on that. We have a different approach in the way that we make a major investment back into our team, and we have an extremely well-rounded professional team at all sides of the business, and I think that's something that helps us keep pushing forward and retaining our current clientele base, but also to continue to build that as more people come to Brisbane as well.
You've opened a lingerie just down the road,
Yes.
and you're about to open a second restaurant in the new Mercedes-Benz complex.
Yes.
How hard is it to run multiple locations, and do people expect you to be at on every service?
Yes, I do. It's a really good question. It's something that you have to consider very well and have a very good strategy moving forward. I guess it starts with our organisational chart within our business. We're a family-owned business in the industry these days. To be a true family-owned business and to grow as we are I guess you could consider that as a rare thing these days. But again, it really relies on our management team, but also relying on modern day technology. So for example, putting systems in place where I can see who is in my dining room and when, and be able to be in the dining rooms at an important time to be able to still have that relationship with our customers. It's a very important tool for Montrachet. And without those systems in place, yes, it would be very difficult. So,
where do you see the future of dining in Brisbane heading?
Well, I think there's definitely a growing need for quality establishments. I think something that's changed the face of our industry over the last several years is the ability that developers have given for a lot of people to enter this profession quite easily. As a chef owner, you have to put everything on the line to own and operate your dining room. You have to be there to mentor your staff. It's a big cost, it's a big risk. You really have to back yourself and be prepared to make more of a devotion to your craft, not see it as a purely a money-making exercise or an investment as a business. It really is a devotion to your craft, and you're sharing that with your customers coming to your dining room. I think the way things are now, where there's big fit-out incentives, and every building that is built seems to have a cafe or some kind of restaurant underneath it. So it's quite an easier attraction for people to either come from another profession and join the hospitality industry, or people going out on their own maybe too soon before they have that amount of the required experience behind them to be successful. So that's created a platform to have plenty of people come into our industry that may not be well prepared for running their own business. I don't think it's all doom and gloom for restaurateurs. Yes, it's a very tough game. It's a game of short margins for sure. It always has been. But I guess putting my career into perspective of my point is it's been 26 years for me this year since I started my first apprenticeship. And I'd really only say in the last several years I would be in a position to prepare myself for running my own restaurant. So it's a good 20 years in the making, and cooking in many countries around the world, being in many great gastronomic kitchens in many different countries, and experiencing different ways of doing things, and how to relay your message to your customer, what it is you're about, and also how to run your operation to be very consistent every day. That takes many years of experience and practice.
It's definitely a complex business. I've noticed that quite a lot of the smaller restaurants in Brisbane are run by husband and wife teams. Your wife Claire, of course, has won a number of accolades for service in her own right.
Yes.
How important is it to have Claire work with you?
Oh, it's hugely important. I think it's, if I look at other great chef owner restaurants, especially locally in Brisbane over the decades, the majority of it's been the chef and their partner, or vice versa. You definitely build a strong bond, obviously through your personal relationship, and that's got to flow into the business to make it successful. You definitely need to have that person that you can rely on to share your struggles and your stress, and also reflect back on the great results of all your good work as well. I would find it very difficult to go home every day for somebody that's in a different profession and to try and share what you go through every day and have to talk about it all again from scratch would be quite a difficult process. So for me, it's fantastic having Claire with me through this journey, mainly because she shares the same passion for the industry and also the same drive. So yeah, it's very important to us.
And I've caught you during Echo Week, and obviously your restaurant is next door to the showgrounds, so you just told me you were closed this week. And so you're giving your staff the time off. That raises that question, how important it is for people, staff particularly, to get free time, me time?
Oh, it's hugely important. You know, it's once you've finished a full week here, you definitely know you've just worked the week. We're traditionally a very busy restaurant all the time, which is great. It makes things very easy when you're consistently busy. You can look after your staff well. You can man your team to the level that doesn't put a huge amount of pressure on your team. But time off and time away with their family is hugely important. It's something that Montrachet has traditionally done for a very long time. We have a long closure over Christmas. We take a mid-year break as well, a couple of mid-year breaks actually. We close for all of Easter for a week, and then we have another week around this time. But it's our second year here while the Echo's on. Last year we traded right through and we didn't know what to expect. The week leading up to Echo was great with all the graziers in town. We had a really busy week. But this week, while the Echo's in full swing, it's just great to have this week as close for our team to have a break and just get out of the madness of the Echo as well. It just suits us, and we don't bring our clientele here while the big influx of the people, and it just makes life easier for everybody.
That's excellent. Well, I hope you enjoy your week's break. And thank you, Shannon, and we look forward to enjoying Montrachet for many years.
Thank you. That's a pleasure. Thank you very much.